Have you ever wondered why some people seem to become completely overwhelmed by their emotions, while others can navigate difficult feelings without being consumed by them? The answer often lies not in the feelings themselves, but in what happened when those feelings first appeared during childhood. One of the biggest misunderstandings about trauma is the belief that trauma is simply about painful events. But children do not grow up in isolation. They grow up in relationship. A child falls over and hurts themselves, they look for a parent. A child is frightened by a nightmare. They seek comfort. A child is bullied at school. They need someone to help them understand what has happened. A child feels ashamed after making a mistake. They need reassurance that they are still loved and valued. The child's brain is not designed to process difficult emotions alone. It is designed to process them with someone important in their lives. This is why two children can experience similar events and yet grow into very different adults. The difference is often not what happened, the difference is what happened next. Was there somebody there? Was there someone who could help this child make sense of their experience? Was there someone who could calm them, soothe them, comfort them, and remind them that they were safe? When a child experiences distress and receives support, their nervous system learns something incredibly important. It learns that difficult feelings are manageable. It learns that help is available. It learns that pain eventually passes. It learns that relationships can provide comfort and safety. Over time, these experiences create resilience. The child develops healthy expectations about life. They learn that challenges are part of life, but they don't have to face them alone. However, when a child repeatedly experiences distress without emotional support, something very different happens. The feelings become overwhelming. There is nobody there to help regulate the child's emotional state, nobody helping them understand what is happening, nobody helping them separate what happened from who they are. The child is left alone with emotions that are simply too big for a young nervous system to cope with and process. And when children are left alone with overwhelming feelings, they naturally try to make sense of them. They create explanations, they create emotional beliefs, they create predictions about how life works. But because they are children, those predictions are often extreme, immature. They begin to believe things like, nobody cares about me, I'm on my own, I'm not important, people cannot be trusted, I cannot cope. These beliefs eventually become unconscious predictions. The child's nervous system starts expecting future experiences to unfold in the same way. This is where many emotional struggles begin. The adult is no longer responding only to what is happening today. They are responding to what their nervous system predicts is about to happen. A delayed text message becomes evidence of abandonment. A disagreement becomes evidence that the relationship is ending. Constructive criticism becomes evidence that they are not good enough. A disappointment becomes proof that nothing ever works out. To other people, these reactions may seem excessive, but from the perspective of the nervous system, they make perfect sense. The reaction is not really about today, it's about years of learning that says, when life gets difficult, I will be alone, overwhelmed, and unable to cope. This is why trauma survivors often seem consumed by their emotions. They are not simply feeling sadness, fear, shame, or anxiety. They're feeling those emotions through the lens of old predictions that were created when they were left alone with overwhelming experiences. In my filial psyche model, the inner child carries those overwhelming feelings. The inner critic develops beliefs designed to protect the child from being hurt again. Together they create a system organized around survival rather than connection. The healing process begins when new experiences challenge those old predictions, when sadness is met with support instead of abandonment, when vulnerability is met with understanding instead of criticism, when fear is met with reassurance instead of dismissal. Gradually, the nervous system begins to learn something new. Not that life is free from pain, but that pain does not have to be faced alone. The feelings may still hurt, but they are no longer as overwhelming. The old predictions begin to soften. The inner child begins to feel safe. The inner critic becomes less reactive. And perhaps the most important belief of all begins to emerge. Whatever happens, I am not alone. If you like help healing trauma, only this time in a therapeutic relationship, visit my website, book a free discovery call. Let's see what's possible.